Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Real Estate Matters. For over 11 years, the voice of real estate in Flagler County and Palm Coast, Florida. I'm Toby Tobin, publisher of GoToby.com, and I'm a contributor to the Palm Coast Observer. I'm a Florida licensed realtor with Landmark Group at Compass. Co-host Anna Maria Long is in the studio with me today. Hello, Anna Maria.
Hey, Toby. How you doing?
Good. Good. I understand you have a concussion.
I believe so. Yeah.
Was it?
I walked forcefully into a television after putting a toddler in timeout. I didn't realize the television was right there. So got a little bump and quite the headache. So
Okay, well,
if my words escape me, that's why.
Okay, so
I have an excuse today.
You're not. You don't know whether you're with us or not.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, well, we'll say you can always bow out if you have to. Okay, our lead sponsor is Veranda Bay, which is a private developing community of. They still have lots of lots.
Lots of lots.
You can say that again. And,
lots of lots.
But they also have several luxury homes on the Intercoastal Waterway in Flagler Beach. They feature custom homes by Olson Homes, AR Homes by Arthur Ruttenberg, ICI Homes, and Hulbert Homes, all members of the
Flagler Home Builders Association.
That's where you hang out. And they've got a new section opened up recently that will have homes by Toll Brothers and Dreamfinders.
Also members of the Flagler Home Builders Association.
And I understand the Toll Brothers has a model already under construction there.
Correct.
Well, the Flagler County Home Builders Association is also a sponsor. Thank you. As is the Hammock Community Church. That's where I go every Sunday morning, 11 o'clock service. It's on A1A in the Hammock, a mile and a half north of the toll bridge. And they've got an event coming up I just want to share with you all. On Tuesday, September 9th, they're having a celebration of music. It's a four-handed piano duet featuring Katja Feldman and Margarita Lons. They're going to be on, they've got a big grand piano they're bringing in.
Whoa.
Be quite a good show. Free admission. It's at 7 o'clock. Again, Tuesday the 9th. Although offerings will be appreciated and gratefully accepted. And then if you want to have some fun, you can dress formally, but you don't have to. And again, it's a mile and a half north of the toll bridge on the east side of A1A. So August is pretty much in the books now. We may still get another home or two that gets reported, but 224 single-family homes were sold in Flagler County, as reported by the Flagler MLS. The median price was $365,000, which is above what it was a year ago, $355 a year ago, so it's 10,000 up. But 365 is essentially what we've been running. If you look at our median price for the first 8 months,
right,
it's 365 or 364.
And that's been consistently higher than 2024.
Just a tad.
Higher's higher.
Yeah, but the number of homes sold is lower.
It is.
And that means that the overall total sales volume is lower. And that's important because that's the number that everybody in the industry is paid off of.
Right.
Everybody's paycheck comes out of that dollar volume. So if it's down, realtors are not happy.
But if you're a person selling your home, then you are going to get the dollars. There's a lot of rhetoric out there that says that that your home value is rapidly declining, and that I think that the 365 versus 355 states pretty explicitly that that's not actually true.
Yeah, the prices are holding fairly constant, although we've talked about it before, the new home builders they're offering what really is a hidden discount because it doesn't show up on the sales documents, but they'll buy down the interest rate.
Yep, I took advantage of that myself.
And they'll put money towards closing costs. They'll give you free cabinet upgrades or whatever, things like that. So it's a little bit of a wishy-washy number.
It's hard to track,
it's hard to track. And of course, MLS does not report all the sales because about 10% of all sales do not go through MLS.
Sure.
Particularly the new construction, high-end custom homes.
Mm-hmm.
So we look each week at the number of homes sold at 250K and under, and the number 1 million or more. And you pointed out last week, interestingly, they always, whatever number one is, the other is pretty close to it. It fluctuates up and down, but they're generally fairly equal, as they are again this week. There were 6 homes that were sold at the 250K or below. 3 of them were cash. $1 million plus, 6 of them sold, 3 of them were cash. But there's a number that's not anywhere near the same. That's days on market.
Wild.
The $1 million plus, 120 days on the market. The homes 250 and under, 15 days on the market.
So those 250 and under houses are still getting snatched up super fast, likely by investors, like we've talked about. And the 100 or the 1 million and up homes sounds like this month at least, because we don't have a trend yet, but this month at least they're returning to what they used to do, which is have a longer days on market. But for a while there, they were also being snatched up really quickly.
We had some months when the $1 million homes
they were selling faster,
lower days on market than the middle range homes.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So we'll have to watch each month and see if this becomes a trend again, or if this month was the one-off.
Well, every month is a one-off in this market because we're just we're too thin a market. You have to wait and look at trends that develop over maybe 3 or more months. Then you get a picture of the market. So homes listed, 1,367. That's 6.1 months of inventory.
0.1. The 0.1 put us right over.
It's edging. 6 is considered a normal market. 6.1 and above is tending to a buyer's market.
But with as small of a market as we are, just a few more homes sold and we'll go right back to 6 or even 5.9.
318 homes pending, and you'd think in a soft market that number would go down, but it's holding fairly constant. The median price of homes pending is $389,000. So if you take 97 or 98% of that, which is what we're running, it looks like over the next couple of months, the closing numbers, median closing price will still be in the 365 range. The Gindex is down from 4.9 to 4.3 from a couple of months ago. That's the ratio between homes listed for sale and homes under contract. Okay, under local news, 4 unlicensed contractors were arrested in a sting by the Sheriff's Department, Flagler County Sheriff's Department.
Yes.
And apparently it's a very complex operation, undercover operation. There were several people that were suspected, but they ended up arresting 4. And just quickly, because we got a lot of other material in the notes today, but we want to stress to people the importance of dealing with licensed contractors. Of course, we'd like them also to be members of the Flagler Home Builders Association.
The Flagler HBA proudly has been working with the DBPR, the Department of Business and Professional Regulation, for honestly 7 years. I'll be frank about it. I've been begging for them to come take care of this issue and make a point of it. In the past several months, I worked diligently to help them secure a location to do this sting. And once that happened, the DBPR worked closely with the Sheriff's Department to do this complex sting. The unlicensed contractors, that's not a term. You can't be unlicensed and a contractor. So I like to call them other words like fraudsters, wackadoodles, things like that. But yes, this is important, and it is really good to see the rhetoric online being positive and showing that people do in fact understand the danger. So if you have an unlicensed person doing activity at your house, your insurance will not cover their work should it go wrong. Your homeowner's insurance won't cover it if they fall off of your roof, and they could end up suing you.
Because they're not in the workman's compensation arena
Right.
either.
Right. Right. They're not going to have their own stuff. And to
and it can
check
affect your ability to sell your home in the
absolutely
future.
Yeah, the work is very unlikely to be done properly. You won't have a permit, which means that you're going to not be able to get it updated with the property appraiser's office, and it's a whole mess of a disaster. To find out if a contractor is licensed, obviously ask them for their license and a copy of their insurance, their updated insurance, and call to verify it. Don't be afraid to do that. Also go to myfloridalicense.com if it's a state license. That's HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and of course builders. And then if it's a non-state licensed activity, just call the county. They'll be able to verify the license for you.
Good, but the risks are not worth taking.
Absolutely not. No, it does cost more to go with a licensed person, and that's because it costs more to be licensed.
I mean, it can actually end up bankrupting a person.
Absolutely, yes. And you don't want to mess with the risks associated with that. They're long term. It's going to be hard to sell your home one day if you don't have the proper permits and inspections done when you get the work done by an unlicensed person. So do it the right way. Get it done once.
I know
the
right
right way.
Sale residential home sold over in the Hammock, not in the new construction area, but it was an older home, and the person had purchased it and lived there quite a while, and it had a garage, and the garage had been added before he bought the house, but he went ahead and bought it, and back then they didn't have the scrutiny that they have now. When he went to sell the house, it turns out that the garage was unpermitted.
Yes.
So he had to change his wholesale strategy and ended up selling the house as is for cash because he
lost out on some important money. And the property appraiser now links your permits with your home, so everything's really transparent, which I think is great. That's in Flagler County on the Flagler PA site. And if you are using a licensed contractor, you have protections through the state. There's a fund available. So some people might say, well, you could get screwed by a licensed contractor too. I mean, unfortunately, yeah, that's true. We hear that happening as well. But if that does happen, there are protections in place for you that simply don't exist when you use an unlicensed person.
Good. Well, moving on, let's take a quick break before we do. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. This is the second half of Real Estate Matters, brought to us by Veranda Bay, beautiful developing community down on John Anderson. Second half of the show today, we're going to talk about a topic that we've touched on several times over the weeks, and that is, does growth pay for itself? Last week we talked about impact fees, and that was a hot topic. That's part of this whole discussion. But it's really complicated. I think the idea of growth should pay for itself sounds really good. It's a feel-good phrase, and it's basically the logic used to support the implementation of impact fees.
Yeah.
And it does make sense.
To a point.
You're up to a point. And the problem is that most people don't know where that point is, whether they're over the line or still way short of the line. So I wrote an article on gotoby.com, which will be, it's not up as we're recording today, but it will be up by Saturday when you hear this show. But the title of the article is, Does Growth Pay for Itself? Rethinking the Question. And the premise of the article is that it really is the wrong question we've been asking. The question we really need to ask, if you're an existing resident, naturally you would want growth to pay for itself. You shouldn't have to pay for new people coming into town. And that makes an awful lot of sense. But it's that logic is kind of based on the premise that if we didn't get any new people coming into town, that we'd be good, all good.
Right. That your taxes would never need to go up.
No, they would never go up because we wouldn't need new roads.
That your roads would never deteriorate and you'd be perfectly fine.
Well, they wouldn't deteriorate any more than they're already.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have
the status quo would just stay because nobody new came. You closed the gates.
You wouldn't need more parks. You wouldn't need more policemen, firemen, all of that stuff. But that really belies the truth.
That's not true because communities can still grow, population can still grow even if permits don't increase. And we found that to be true by analyzing some previous data of what the nexus is between permits and population growth. And the two are not directly connected. So that's really interesting.
People creating multi-generational homes or people moving in together.
Oh, hey, it's me.
Yeah, you've got a multi-generational
home. And I have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't collect permit fees in Palm Coast till 2002. Palm Coast started in 1977, became a city in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when the school impact fees were being raised, I was pregnant with the twins, which made it so much more funny and ironic. And I pointed out the flaw in impact fees while I waddled up to the podium at the school board, pregnant, very pregnant with the twins. And I said, you know what? Impact fees are great because I never will pay them. Because at the time I lived in a house built in 1978, so it never paid impact fees. I never paid impact fees. And I had 1 child in the school system at the time. And I said, I'm going to put 2 more in. And I won't pay for any of them, just with my taxes. I love this.
Well, that's an interesting argument, which is valid. Like most arguments, there are more than one side to an argument. There are the people that do pay impact fees and don't have any children.
Exactly. That is the flaw.
That's kind of the
That's exactly what I wanted to point out.
But the question we should be asking is not, does growth pay for itself? Because government costs will go up faster than the rate of inflation. That's just like an axiom. It's indisputable. And my article will have some foundational numbers on that statement. The budget from Palm Coast from 2022 to 2024, it's just a 3-year gap, went up significantly more than inflation. It went up, and even if you adjust it for inflation and for population growth, it still went up like 15%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to go up whether you like it or not. It's just the way government.
Someone's got to pay for it.
The way government is, and someone's going to have to pay for it. So, really, the question that we should ask is, does growth subsidize or mitigate the cost of government increase for the existing residents? And this article does a damn good job of showing and explaining why it does. I mean, we really, you can say no growth is good, but no growth, you'll be taxed to death.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I mean, and I've said it as a joke before on this show, but everyone should love their new neighbors from New York or whatever state they've moved from since 2020 because they're paying the highest taxes.
Okay. Well, let's quickly brush that because this is complex and there are lots of reasons why that's true. Lots of contributing reasons. One is that literally all new construction in Florida, other than infill lots, is going to be in newly developed land that is going to buy. Municipalities are not accepting roads and things like
Right.
that as a conveyance anymore. So the developers, to get permission to build a development, they have to agree up front, commit statutorily to create some entity that will build the roads, pay for
basically
the roads.
not a municipality, but it's going to take care of all its infrastructure.
Yeah, they're going to have to perpetually maintain the infrastructure, with one exception.
And create it.
And pay to build it. The one exception is water and sewer, because they do accept the conveyance.
Conveyance.
The developer still has to pay to build it, engineering, all that.
Yeah, they'll convey it once it's built.
But the city will take it over so they can charge the revenue dollars for water
Obviously.
and sewer. So that's the one exception. But streets, amenities, all of those things are paid for, and these homeowners associations and seed community development districts charge the homeowners on a monthly or annual basis a fee, which is typically several $100s a month.
Yes.
Okay, now the person living in that new development typically has amenities that were built by the developer and paid for when it's kind of the shared value and the cost of the house. But they pay for the amenities, but they also pay taxes to the city for parks.
And they also paid impact fees.
And they paid impact fees to help build more parks.
Even though arguably their impact on some of those things, especially those amenities, would be less because they have them right outside their door.
So that's one area where the argument falls flat about not paying for the growth, not paying for itself.
Sure.
Another one is the key one is the Save Our Homes portion of the homestead exemption. And typically what happens, between 2022 and 2029, the city of Palm Coast budget increased by 29.8%. Even after adjusting for inflation and population, the budget still climbed by 16%. Yet the millage rate declined 7.7% during that same period. So the millage rate is what you all pay your property taxes based on. And if you take that alone would reduce your taxes, but the Save Our Homes makes that even more pronounced, because the typical homesteaded property in the city of Palm Coast pays roughly half of the same tax that a non-homesteaded home will pay in the city of Palm. That's city taxes. It's basically homesteaded, it's around $500. Non-homesteaded, it's close to $1,000 a month for city taxes. And the thing is that you could argue that, sometimes people move in to the city, but they move into an old home that doesn't pay impact fees. Well, yeah, it does, in a sense, because or create impact fees, because somebody's got to move out of that house. And if you're having population growth, that means you're adding residential units someplace, whether it's the person who moved in here and bumped somebody else to move into a new home, or the person that just moved in here and bought into a new home. Either way, you need another new home and impact fees to accommodate that population
unless
growth.
They left the earth entirely.
That's true.
That would be the only exception.
Yeah, but then
I love a loophole.
But then it's not a population growth anymore.
It's a population equalizer.
That would, if somebody moves in and someone else moves out of the state or out of the city, that's equal.
Yes.
But growth means new units. And the other thing that before we end, we talked about it before the show, impact fees raise everybody's property value.
Yes.
Not only does...
Which is not necessarily a good thing, because it sounded really good what you just said. They raise their property value, but how is that bad or good?
Well, if they're homesteaded, their taxes aren't going to go up that much because of Save Our Homes. but if they moved in from someplace or just moved across town to buy that house, that used house, there's impact fees imputed in the value of that house because the neighboring new house brought the value up. The neighboring new house would be used as a comp.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. This topic we could go on. This should be an hour show. Maybe we'll revisit again next week because it's the least understood concept of the people who write in social media about real estate.
I believe I worded it as they just are not yet educated. They're just not yet educated on this topic. Yeah, so I'm so glad you wrote this article that's available on gotoby.com because this has the facts and the numbers to help people understand.
And you're not limited to a half an hour if you go read it.
Yeah, well, right. If you need longer to read it or to check some numbers. And I think...
And share it with friends too.
Yeah, and the really interesting point you made is how the Palm Coast budget went. I like that.
Yeah.
That's important.
Well, the numbers prove it. We've been saying it for months, but now I finally found the numbers that prove it. Okay, well, we're done. We're running out of time. If you have any questions or suggestions for the show, reach out to me. You can reach me at 386-931-7124 or email me at toby@gotoby.com. I'm Toby Tobin, and I approve this show.